This is a continuation of my earlier lecture. So today I'm going to talk about the date function. The function date extracts the date part from the string, and date underscore format, uh, it actually formats the date value according to the format string. Let us take a look at the example. List the product code and date the product was last received into the stock for all products. Now we are going to use the same database that we used earlier. So in this query, we are going to list the product code and date the product was last received into stock for all products. So let us look at how I wrote the query. So I have opened MySQL Workbench, and so what I'm doing here is I'm selecting the product code, and please notice that date underscore format, this is the function that I'm using within parentheses p underscore in date. That means the date the product was received in the inventory, and then I put first the month followed by day followed by year, and you need to put a percent sign before each of those, and then from product. So let me run this query and you will see that it is properly formatted according to our formatting scheme. So first comes the month followed by day and followed by year. Now if I change this, for example, if I put D followed by month followed by year, and then again I write this query just to show you, you will notice that first comes the day, then the month, and followed by the year. Now I'm going to show you another example using month. So month returns the month from the date. In this example, I'm going to show you how to list all employees who were born in the month of November. So again, let us look at the query. What I'm doing here is I'm selecting the employee last name, employee first name, employee date of birth, and look at from the employee table and look at how I use the month function. So when I say month within parentheses employee date of birth, so if you look at the employee table, you will notice that there is a column called date of birth, and if you look at this emp underscore dob, you will see that it has the date of birth for each employee. Now what I am doing is I am actually selecting from that column month as month, and then from employee where month employee date of birth equals 11. Now notice that if you say month equals 1, it will give you employees who were born in January. Since we are looking for employees who were born in the month of November, that's why we wrote month employee DOB equals 11. So when we run this, you will be able to see all the employees who were born in the month of November, and you can see all this month equals 11. Now I'm going to show you another example using add date. Now add date, it actually add time values or intervals to a date value. So in this example, I'm going to show you how to list all products with the date those will be on the shelf for 30 days. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm adding 30 days to the date when the product was first recorded in the inventory. Okay, now again, I'm using MySQL Workbench, and let's look at the query. What I'm doing here is I am actually adding 30 days to the date the product was first recorded in the inventory. So P underscore in date is the date when the product was received in the inventory. And look at this, what I'm doing is I'm doing add date. So this is the function I'm doing, add date within parenthesis p underscore indate comma 30. So basically select p underscore code p underscore indate, then I'm doing add date p underscore indate comma 30. So I'm adding 30 days to the date it was first recorded in the inventory from product. And then what I'm doing is I'm using order by add date, because p indate 30, I'm then basically what I'm doing is I'm ordering the dates. So when I run this query, you will see that, notice that I'm getting the desired results. And look at the date, it starts from 2017, 3rd December 2017, all the way it went all the way to the last date is 31st March 2018. So basically it is in the increasing order. Okay, I'm going to show you another example. This example uses date underscore add. This is very similar to the earlier example. Here, date add actually adds time values or intervals to a date value. So in this example, I'm going to list all products with their expiration date, and the definition of expiration date is 2 years from the date of purchase. So basically, I'm going to add 2 years to the date of purchase. So now, again, using MySQL Workbench, I'm going to show you how I constructed the query. What I did here is I use this function called date add, and within parenthesis p underscore indate, then comma interval 2 year. So this is basically I'm adding 2 years to the date of purchase, which is 2 year, and from product, and then again I am ordering the date, order by date underscore add. So let's run this query. So this query will give you all the expiration dates of those products. Basically, the definition of expiration date is the date it was purchased, 2 years from that date. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to show you the list of all employees who were hired within the last week of a month. In order to run this query, what I'm doing is I'm using a function called last underscore day. Now, last underscore day will return the last day of the month for the argument. So using last underscore day, we are going to construct the query. Okay, in order to construct this query, first let us look at the employee table. What I'm looking at right now is the employee first name and the hire date. That is very important for us. So I run this query. So I see the employee first name as well as the hire date. Now, if you look at the first employee, George, the date of hire is March 15, 1985. Okay, so we will look at for every employee, we will first find out the last day of that month, the hire date of that month. So now look at this query. What I am doing here is I am looking at the last day of every month each employee was hired. So if I run this query, select last day within parentheses employee hire date from employee, this query will give the last day of every month starting from the first one is March 15th, so the last day for the this March will be 31st. The second one is April 25th, so what is the last day of April? It will give you 30 and so on. So let us run this query, and you will notice that the for each of those employees, you will notice that the last days are 31st, 30 and so on. Next thing what I am going to do is I'm going to subtract 7 from each of these days. So the first one is 31st March. I'm going to subtract 7 from this. I'm going to subtract 7 from April 30 and so on. So look at this query. Select date add last day employee hire date, and look at this. interval -7. -7 means I am actually getting subtracting 7 days from the last day of that month. So and this will give me a list of dates, which is the first one is 24th March, 23rd March, and so on. And then so we are going to find out all those employees who were hired in the last week of every month. So now what we have to do is we have to compare the employee hire date and figure out if that employee hire date is greater than this. So let us look at the final query. So here is the final query. I am now selecting the employee last name, employee first name, employee hire date from employee, where employee hire date, this is the employee hire date, is greater than all these dates that I have actually found out. And that will give me the list of all employees who were hired during the last week of each month. So let us run this query. And so this will give you the final result is here, which has 3 rows, and these are the 3 employees who were hired on the last week of every month. And you can see the employee hired did the Rhonda Lewis, which is April 25. The second one, Anne, was hired on 28th of August, and Hermin was hired on 23rd of April. So this query gives you the desired results.